Our family had gone through some difficult times, and those difficulties had their impacts on a couple of young teenagers. And Alex in particular, I think he probably looked at it as taking his difficulties out on the world, but I think he was also taking them out on himself, pretty much. And it was a difficult time for all of us.
I mean, you name it. I mean, I didn't listen to curfew. I used drugs when I was a teenager. I mean, pretty much anything you don't want your kid doing, I gave it a shot at one point or another.
I think the hardest thing for any parent is not knowing where their child is, whether he's safe, just not having any information at all. And there were a lot of times when I didn't know that.
As far as I can remember, my first interaction with SAY, I was actually brought to your coffee house by a police officer. I was picked up by the police after running away from home in my mid-teens and basically given the option of you're going to juvenile hall or going home. And I said, take me to juvenile hall. There was a third option, apparently, because that officer ended up taking me to SAY, and I spent that night there.
SAY was involved with Alex around the time he was 14 or 15 years old, and he was on the streets. He was not coming home. I didn't know where he was.
Being on the streets can be scary. It can be lonely. It's not somewhere for kids. It's not a friendly world. It's not a safe world. I was really happy that they were just willing to give me a place without asking questions, without judging, without trying to sit me down and force me to do counseling, or they just gave me a free meal and a free place to stay and let me know that they were there if I needed them.
There was a young man who worked there who I actually knew from just being around downtown Santa Rosa, who was a counselor, and he facilitated some conversations between Alex and me at the time. It was really critical help at a critical time.
That they really gave us an opportunity to talk when we otherwise wouldn't have had that opportunity at all. So even if they weren't the most productive conversations, or if I wasn't ready to have the conversation, they gave us the space to do it. Sometimes
just the support of the family doesn't work, or the support of the family isn't there. But the support of the community can be key.
My advice for parents is don't give up. Sometimes things can feel hopeless, I'm sure, for a parent that's got a kid that is going off the rails or whatever it may be, but don't give up. Don't let them give up. Don't let them forget they're loved. And keep fighting for them.
On the evening of April 14th, you'll join together in downtown Santa Rosa in Courthouse Square to support one of the most important nonprofits we have in our community. The youth of our community need adults to support them. They need it in every way. They need support from their parents. They need support from their elected leaders. They need support from their community. It's great that you have joined around the table, the community table, to support our kids as they go through the most difficult time for some of them in their lives. Kids often struggle. We need to hold them up through that struggle. We need to make sure that they have the resources that they need, that they have the love that they need, that they know that their community is going to be there for them when they get through that struggle and become adults. And when they become adults, having had that support, they'll be able to provide it to the generations that come after them.